you don't smear it, whatever he said, don't smear it on your forehead. I think that's what he said. So then we go to the next part. Gradually we'll fill in more information. Okay, there.
Now, these words that, hold on, Bob, just a second. Carolyn, you may have to interpret this for Bob because this may be a little bit over the top, but maybe not. Maybe it's simple. All those words that you've had to go through so far, Bob, give you some construct to have a conversation where we're saying little words right now, which you don't get always, but you get some. But you're thousands of light years better, faster, smarter, better now than you are or were when you started. To expand on a lampstand, to talk about lamb's blood, to talk about the altar, the iron throne, to talk about the cloud, glory it's moving, about the angels coming, moving in and out within the construct of this all now, the day before yesterday kind of business. And then when the smoke monster comes, he had to show you TV show after TV show, so you can have a construct of saying, well, oh, you mean like when blah. And then you mean like when Fukushima blew. Oh, yeah, you mean like when we had to increase the radiation on the Earth. Oh, you mean like when the caldera blows. These constructs have been thoroughly developed. Now they're starting to safely start to occur, which makes you, of course, way up the food chain, which we almost don't want you so far up the food chain. That's okay. You got to buffer it back. You know, Callan says, take the parts that kill you and back it off just a little bit. Then we keep going from there.
So going up the food chain could kill us. Could kill Bob.
Well, no, we don't want you too exposed. We don't want you too smart, Bob. You're great smart enough, not too smart, because too smart is scary, because too smart puts you exposed. You can't be right too often. That's why you don't have hundreds of thousands or millions of people listening. You have a lot of people listening, but there's not so many that you can't function, you see.
And that includes Carolyn when you say we shouldn't appear too right. Bob and Carolyn should not. Or do you just mean...
Well, it's different levels. We were referring to you. We wanted Carolyn to help, so it'd be part of a clichéable position to include her in the thing that she may or may not get to explain to you. So it would be a little different level, we think. But once the third angel pours the vial on the rivers, the fountains of water, when they become blood, everything will get real clear then, and the sorting will have taken place.
Is the rivers different from the sea of glass?
Yes.
Okay.
The rivers flow into the sea of glass.
Okay.
But they're saying there will be trouble in the rivers.
You ain't seen nothing yet. Bum, bum. And then you heard the angel of the waters say, Thou art righteous, O Lord, which art, and waste, and shalt be, because thou hast judged thus.
Which revelation is that?
14. We're still at 14?
No, we slipped into 16 now. Time flies when you're having fun.
Of course you did.
Of course you did. Of course you did. That would be 16.5.
This burning in the world. Is this why we moved to Maui, to make it a little easier for our safety?
Well, yeah, they can still get you, but now they have to be committed to getting you, so it's a little bit better. Because the men that were scorched with great heat, they blasphemed the name of God, which had power over these plagues, they had repented not to give him the glory. See, they didn't bow down to Bob, so they have to burn.
What's that got to do with us coming to Maui?
And they gnawed their tongues. The burning men could fall on you and get you on fire. But now, to be honest or fair, now, if they're on fire, they're pretty clean, Bob. There's not a lot of germs live in fire. So if they're really burned up good, they're probably not germy. And typically that's your criterion for having engaged in positions with them, is it not?
Right. Okay.
So good. That's good to know.
Which quote? The
quote.
eye cloud?
Because this is all sidebar. This is not really exactly what the quote is.
Oh, you don't think that the sixth angel, you don't think the sixth angel is going to pour the vial out on the great river Euphrates and the water was going to dry up? And the way the kings of the east might be prepared is the world is going to be without water? Okay. We
I
said
didn't say that. Here's the
We
quote.
did.
He that sat on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped. Is the cloud revelation, the cloud that Revelation is referring to the iron cloud, which you said the other day is Bob's cloud, right?
It is.
Is it different from Bill Gates' cloud? Now let's look.
Yes, Bill Gates doesn't have a cloud. His is pornography version. His just started where people could get it. We had to introduce it to show them that this is the mystery landscape. They didn't even know what it was. What do you mean I'm sending my pictures to the cloud? I don't even know what that is. I'm not going to give them pictures of me and put it in the cloud. I'm not going to do it. But then all of a sudden they put them in and they can get them anytime they want to, and they burned up their little machine that the Android part was no good.
The Android part, technically, the company that sells Android? You mean that?
Well, no, the Android, no, we're talking about the Android part that is the Android part, which is the physical mechanical part.
Okay. Can we go back to the quote, Carol?
Yes, please. We like that.
No, we want to...
Bob, I have to take notes. You're jumping back. Here is the...
No, I'm now going to the interpretation that was there. So you said, yes, referring to the Bob cloud. It's where the Lamb stood on Mount Zion. What is Mount Zion? Referring to the word.
The special place.
Okay. You don't know what to say about it. There's no word on that. We don't know what Mount Zion is.
Well, we ain't telling you just yet, because you go mess it up. So we don't want that exposed out there and get accidentally played, and the hacker's gonna hack, and the fucker's gonna fuck, and we don't want them in your business. So that's how that rolls. That's how we roll, Bob.
Now, lamb referred to natural lamb's blood, which
the perfect lamb that was slain, that was dedicated, that was donated, that where the blood was preserved, so that you could prove. So what is Hebrew culture? You don't even know what that is.
Okay, you started to describe the lamb. Are you describing the eye cell, the perfect blood?
Basically.
Okay, so no one would know what that meant. No one's ever made the eye cell like we're making it, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. That's correct. And people had known there was perfect blood in the ascended, and they knew the lamb's blood was similar, but they didn't know how to get to it, how to acquire it in past cultures.
Example after example after example.
Oh, you're contradicting what I'm saying. There were examples of perfect blood, people who had perfect blood. They knew what it was. They could see it.
No, we're creating the new examples.
You go with what Karen said or with what I said, Ion? Don't fail us now. We're coming to the key question here. What time is it?
Now, let's try it again.
It's perfect blood. Did the Hebrews know? Did the Levites know the perfect blood? Did they preserve samples of it from ascended people?
Yes, they had the bones of Joseph in the ark when they left Egypt. They sure do. That's why the bones are so important.
The bones look different than a little man's.
They didn't know. No, they didn't know that. They just knew what they had to do. They knew that was the reference. Everywhere the power was, they separated themselves from. Before they cut their throats, they made sure the house was really clean. So when they came to drag out the body, the house would be clean, Bob. They knew they were going to separate from their power. See, that's why we keep saying if we could show you a perfect one, you could make them all day long. It's like a 4-minute mile. Nobody could do it till you did it, and then everybody could do it. Same thing with attention. Once they start this process, then everybody's going to shut up talking about it. They're going to start doing it. A little less talk and a lot more action, and all of a sudden we'll have a different conversation. And then very quietly and easily you'll come to take over the world, which some would say you may already have. But we're negotiating. You're talking about first fruits, Bob. First fruits unto God and to the Lamb. First fruits.
Okay, the shewbread that the Levites protected and kept from David, that had the eye cell in it?
Yes, it does.
Did the Jews know how to make that shewbread?
They just did it, and it did. They just did it, and it did. The bread knew how to make itself. Just like, okay, let's say it this way. When Moses erroneously smote the rock with his staff and made living water come out of it, he was impetuous and wrong for doing that, okay? But he did it anyway because of the situation ethic. Okay, that also had the eye cell in it, too. But that was the whole point. You can't have it both ways. You can't move heaven and earth and separate yourself and put your God in a box and then float the box into the damn thing that makes your power be your power in the first place. See, because when they sung the new song before the throne and before the four beasts and the elders, no man could learn that song but the 144,000, which were redeemed. There's your product name, Carolyn, redeemed. The redeemed.
No,
from the
redeem. R-E-D-E-A-N.
No, you wouldn't want to D-E. You just D-E. But you deem it a deem. You can redeem deem. Yeah, there we go. It's redeemable, but redeemed. Yeah, that'd
right.
be good.
You mentioned that sent 144,000. What were you referring to? The double strands or the 12 tribes?
Yeah. They're all the same representation. They're all the same archetype, Bob.
Okay, so
yeah, and that represents the 12 divisions, and those 12 divisions are in 12,000 sets, and that's how the arms and rings are sorted.
Okay, I gotta move this forward. This is the first time in human culture, in the expansive culture of little humans, where the eye cell is made consciously. We know what we're doing, and we're learning.
Yeah, that way. Now, it's been made before, but just by rote. Remember, King David was so high and mighty, or less than, he couldn't even take the shoe bed that was made for him. He couldn't even take it. So that was real shoe bread and real eye cell and real ascending material right there.
Did some of the priests take it and they ascended?
Nope. They did not. When King David wouldn't take it, they were thought, uh-oh, we better get messed up because he'd offered their head. No one. They offered it to the gods. And there weren't any gods, and apparently there weren't any gods to engage it. So it withered.
Wow.
We thought they had it a little bit or something. Right? The Coathonites, they didn't take it.
But see, the women...
Coathonites had it. Coathonites had it. They took it all the time.
Oh, that's why they're still alive. That's why they're still in the physical. Correct?
That is correct.
What we said now?
I wonder if the women who made it kind of inhaled it a bit, and that's why women are so superior.
But they are very superior. There's no contest there. There's no question. They are indeed exactly superior. But not necessarily because of that, but they are superior for sure.
Okay, so they didn't take it. They didn't.
In every way.
They didn't get affected by it from inhaling it when they made it.
Right.
It wasn't an inhale. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Well, they did. They still died. They still transitioned, whether they inhaled it or not.
No, some of them stayed.
So here's my point, my question. The moment of us making it is the key moment that is represented in the Bible in the story of Adam and Eve or Adam and Lilith, and they're in the Garden of Eden, and before they're kicked out of the Garden of Eden, they are doing things, naming the plants and animals. Is part of the naming the plants and animals successfully making the eye cell?
No.
All right, qualify this, Ian. Or they didn't need to make it because they were in the ascended state and didn't require the eye cell as catalyst. Right?
That's closer, but it's still a bit of a stretch. See, it's, you're trying to decide what made the emperor naked. Well, he didn't have on any clothes. But that's not really your point. But that's why he was naked, because he didn't have on any clothes. So, however true, it's not the point.
The moment of the eating of the eye cell is a forever moment, always happening, and we're activating it and doing it. Where in the Bible is that condition of having the eye cell? And every other culture and alchemist is failing to.
Well, we just read it. You just read it, Bob. It's in your Revelation series. You just read every bit of it.
Okay. So that refers to the making of it, Carol. That's what.
And you seem surprised. That's what's so hysterical.
So that's Revelation 14, 15, and 16?
Dude.
That's about the making of it. And it's made by little man, and little man becomes ascended. So the ascended continent, or the Garden of Eden, is not referenced here. It's arriving and becoming to that position. That's the punchline of the book of Revelation, correct?
So your leading is confusing you.
Well, the what? The reading?
Your leading is confusing you. You're trying to ipso facto yourself into knowing.
Grow yourself?
No, your ipso facto position is confusing your qualifying position. Your point's great. There's no worry there. You're doing good. Everything is fine. But
my point is that we're sitting here in Maui. I had to stop that. Okay, next part. A few seconds here. Yeah, see, that's my point. The moment of making it is eternal, has no space-time, and we live in that moment of making it, the arriving at it, and all cultures are space-time limitations, and nobody got to it. And the moment of making it, which we are living, and we're all time and done it a million times, that is what all cultures are failing to equal, to be that experience that we've made. Right? You get that? We're an eternal moment. We're the eternal Adam and Eve that did it. How would you correct that?
How is that important? How is that important?
Okay, we got a like.
No, we got a like. We got a Facebook like.
Okay, so that's a lot about that quote.
It is a lot.
We learned something new again. We stumbled into something new, which is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, us
no,
into it.
Something new going in your inbox.
Got to move it forward. Couple more seconds. All right, we're going to the next quote. Revelations 10, 4-6. We say, the quote is that there should be time no longer. So then Ian says, this is the canceling of time for the little man. We have been saying there is no time. Well, there isn't, but human creators, little man, can have time if he creates time for time. The thunders settle it. And now our question is, how do the thunders settle this issue of time and no time?
Well, the thunders are that's what makes the lion roar, and that's what uttered the voices. That's what uttered the thunder's voices. So the thunders lay out the declave. That's right. That's what it says.
Yeah, now we learned later that the meaning of thunders is blessings. So this is the fourth ring of the angel diagram. So the blessings settle it.
But you don't see that. You don't see that then. See, you don't see that when it's happening because it's like you're being chided or chastened. It's like you're being corrected in some way, which is really not the case. That those thunders, they're letting you know that there's lightning coming, but it gives you the thing. That's when, when you take up the little book and you eat it up and it makes your belly bitter. But it'll be in your mouth. It's sweet as honey.
Now, the lightning, in Nostradamus, they refer to Ion as the lightning in the temple. So you're saying the thunders announced the coming of Ion. What were the thunders in sociological human experience in the 20th century?
Your whole world was turned upside down, Bob.
Right. The radio, movies, television, all that's happened in the place called...
You destroyed the damn news, Bob. Every news element, every newspaper, every news show, every news you stopped. You've undone all of mediacology. Walter Winchell may come back from the grave.
Right, you're talking about the 21st century. This happened lately. The thunder settled it. It happened.
All this is day before yesterday.
Yeah. So that means that's just before the lightning count. So the lightning is when we get the eye block.
It's why we said write them not.
Write them not. That means don't
and when the seven thunders had uttered their voices, I was about to write, and I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, Bob, damn you, don't you one more time do this one more thing we done told you not to do that you're not supposed to do, that coffee coffee don't fetch worth a damn. Seal up those things which the seven thunders uttered and write them not. So, thank God you didn't do it, Bob, because it would have been smugly, ugly had you exposed it all. But luckily you didn't. So now it can flow.
Okay. So
like a mighty rushing wind.
Right, so you're saying November 8th, 2016 is what a lot of the revelations was about. The thunders, the trumpets and the thunders and the viral judgment. All that was gathered around the election of Trump. Correct? That's what, it's all happened pretty recently.
Yeah.
Culmination.
Yeah.
That's interesting, Carol.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it, like, Trump is the seventh trumpet. Were there 6 trumpets before Trump sequentially, or did they all happen pretty well the same week?
No, it was Quillian, Chile. Quillian, Chile. That's where it was, Bob.
Quillian, Chile. So let's move forward. That's what we're doing. Okay, here's the next part. So the Trump election is a symbolic culmination. Now, you're saying we're always becoming more and more. So the becoming happened before 2016. So there were events throughout the 20th century as part of the becoming. Correct?
Yes.
And you could say take it all the way back to the Big Bang.
It'll be a Big Bang, all right.
Okay, now let me just take a break here.
All participants are now unmuted.
It'll be a Big Bang, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was rich. Very rich.
Right. Got some clues there about the lampstands and the cloud, other points.
Blood.
The blood.
Women are more superior than men.
I go into a whole discussion about that later, which we did on What Youth. Did you hear What Youth on Tuesday,
yes.
Bert?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Where See, when Carolyn...
And you came up with
I
the
think
reason.
It's there. Yes, like, we're establishing women are more intelligent, but then Carolyn said, yet women are sicker today. What's going on? So I brought in the chip body. Neither male nor female is impervious to the chip effect, but especially women are affected by the chip body and get sick. So
there's this confusion about the sexual genre. Everybody's everything now. People don't identify just in male or female.
Right. Everybody's trying to be a shapeshifter, or the shape-shifting environment is making them amenable to that concept. So they're not going to stay with one shape for noun or classification.
Yeah.
Yes, there. I don't know how many sex definitions in this Tinder app.
Well, it's also animal, so that's a good prefiguring of that form not being human, form not meaning human. The morphing that people will do. Like the people that try to look like cats or dogs or...
Yeah.
As Bob, am I off base? Is Bob reading the chat board? So I like that we learned that write them not was to you, Bob, you and Carolyn. When they say in Revelation, the book of Revelation,
there's an echo. James is saying there's
an
echo.
Yeah, there is a
really?
slight echo.
In other words, what I am saying is not that clear?
No, it was clear.
Probably when we're talking. It's when we're talking, there's an echo.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe you should put on the other phone. Maybe I'll switch.
I don't hear any echo.
Good.
I heard Roxy echo and Bert echo.
Yeah, and I hear you also.
Roxy echoes right now?
Yes.
Roxy echoes. Yes.
Roxy's got her tongue tied.
Okay, so let's go on.
I just wanted to note that Ion said the thunders are blessings, and it made me think
at one point.
It made me think of Ion making those Hebrew blessings of late, saying those Hebrew blessings.
Yeah. Okay, I'll play another little section. Even though I'm not playing you all of it, I am playing good stuff in this little bits. There's reasons to play it. Pay attention to it when you re-listen to it.
Yes.
If you don't get it now. Okay. I'm going to mute you guys.
All participants are now muted.
Sometimes you talk about artificial intelligence, and then you drop the word artificial and just use intelligence. And you talk about humans having intelligence, and then we develop the Android meme, artificial intelligence. The flipping back and forth.
That's what Arnold. Yes, it is. That's what Arnold was laying out in the pyramid. Those three different quadrants, so that when the android can have initiated feelings that come from coding a response. For example, if Karen starts mistreating you any further, like she slaps you in the face every time you do something, a little while later you'll learn to not do whatever it is she slaps you in the face for. She'll say, I'm going to slap you in the face, and you'll respond. See, because she's done it. So she slaps you in the face, and that's what happens. So it's a conditioned response. When you drop the slapping, and she can just look at you hard, like your mother, well, no, her mother, look at you hard to say, and then you won't do it. It controls it. That's the part that moves you into the senility of androidism. It's mechanical responses, and that's what you
good.
do already.
Is that good, moving into android levels?
Well, you don't. It's okay with us.
Yeah, but I'm trying to become a god. Going the android direction doesn't sound right.
That's correct, but this is it. You got to show the difference. You got to show how the android. If we can show you how to make an android a human, you should be able to figure out how to make you a god.
Right. So.
Yeah, that's what we talking about. Same thing, same problem. The same problem that Quoker had in the Quoker quadrant.
Right. And when you get somewhere, you don't need to do it by rote anymore.
Right, you can do it. You don't have to practice doing it. You'll be busy doing it.
So we were talking about how
That's
everything
excellent, Bob. You're
culminated.
doing so much better. This is so much better.
Yeah,
You'll have
no,
to
I
look
agree.
at your progress. You'll have to look at your progress because you're really doing so much better.
I think so. So we
Good.
look at the climactic moment of Trumpism and November 8th, 2016. But all the becoming, the Finneganese, the Ten Thunders, was phases before that, which we've discussed before. To refer to the technologies of the last 150 years is the closest to talking about the thunders, or are the thunders referring to something completely different?
Yes and yes.
All right, it does refer to tech. No, so the thunders refer to affect, A-F-F-E-C-T, not is the closest to talking about the thunders, or are the thunders referring to something completely different?
Yes and yes.
All right, it does refer to technology. So the thunders refer to affect, A-F-F-E-C-T, not effect.
That's correct. Affect.
There you get it,
Sexually
John.
speaking. Good.
Yeah, affect is what the thunders in the Bible refers to, not effect. All right. Now, why did McLuhan miss the affect, A-F-F-E-C-T, in his discussion of
Because
technology?
he was trying to obsolesce before it could be retrieved, so he could never get to there. He would have if he'd ever done something, but he'd never done anything yet. So
He didn't know about retrieving God remembrance.
well, he couldn't get that because of the fucking math. He was so busy trying to figure out the math, he didn't. He was so busy trying to figure out the math that he never got to the deity
Right.
part of the program.
Okay, so that's the end of that recording. That was December 26th. So we'll go on to the next one.
All participants are now unmuted.
Day?
Well, last 2 weeks were like very intense.
Yeah.
They're like real active.
Are you talking about today or 2 weeks before?
The last 2 weeks.
Including today?
Yeah. Like
Is
the last
today intense?
Payday.
It should be. Yeah, it should be intense. Okay, so we go to the next one. What is this? What do we got here? This is good. Okay, bring up the next session. Okay, I'll meet you guys.
All participants are now muted.
Right, she has no guff to go to.
Right. She's still eternal, though.
No, do they have a bliss effect, even though there's no guff?
No, it's not bliss, it's nothing. She's like a void.
That's a drag. Why did humans deserve that? No more bliss death. That's pretty radical. It's a way of making them stay in the body. Part of the shift, stay in the physical.
Mm-hmm.
It's like no more free poker, no more bliss state. Wow, that's a big change in human experience.
Yep.
Very big change. Okay, so...
But see, you've come to closer and closer to what you call the resurrection morning, Bob, when all the dead in Christ shall rise. So there's some people got to die.
You say they got to die because we're going to have a resurrection morning.
Dude, when all the dead in Christ shall rise.
Right, but they're not dying into the guff.
No, they're not.
But they got to do a final die-off.
They're doing it now. People are running around in malls, chopping people's heads off, running around screaming, raising
Okay, listen. Yeah, I got that. So people are dying into the non-bliss dead zone to make them want to stay in the physical. That's part of the shift where everybody becomes eternal in the physical by default. Right?
We're trying not to just give you blanket rights. Because you'll leave that and you'll pull that into something else. But with this one, it's okay. You haven't hit anything too far out. It's a nebulous in-between space is what you're talking about. A nebulous in-between space. So they are visceral, but not tactile. They are, no, they're not even ventricular. We can't even say it. So, No. They have a ventral system, a ventric vein system, a ventricle. We can't even say it, but they don't have that. So you did. You just did. Walking dead.
That's the new dead state. What you just described, the kind of limbo.
That would be the way to say that.
But it sounds like this in-between state is happening to discourage humans wanting to die and leave their physical.
But they do it anyway.
Okay, so there has to be a massive die-off of humans before everybody gets eternal by default in the physical.
No, they're eternal by default now.
I know, but they're not in the physical.
Right. That's correct. Good for you.
And the goal is to stay in the physical, even though you're eternal, you can go to other dimensions, but not in the physical. So the thing is to stay in the physical. Well, I say not in the physical, but you are not in the physical. And then you are here, and you stay in the physical. Now, you used to say when the guff emptied, everybody would be eternal in the physical by default.
And they are.
Happening?
That's happened already, but you say, but everybody's not there yet. We go, right. That's the problem. That's the drag. That's the loop.
And do you see a mass die-off caused by the yellow caldera going off?
There'll be a lot, but not so many. The other thing will probably get it there first.
Oh, what's the other thing? I'll keep it to myself. What's the other thing?
Yeah, we don't want to say. We don't want to say.
There's another thing that causes a mass die-off. And then those people, they die into the non-guff, non-bliss thing, and then somehow they will come back into the physical. Is that what you call the resurrection of the dead? That phrase you were saying 2 minutes ago?
Well, it's terrible. Carolyn was right.
About what?
It's called fluoroquinolones.
What is that?
It's what's going to cause the biggest die-off.
Oh, okay. So I'll leave that there. Okay, the next part. Okay, here comes the next part. Causing this change.
Well, don't say the presence. Don't say that. No, we say that you were going to ascend without us. You were going to ascend anyway, but you didn't. We'd say that you were going to become a god, but you hadn't. We were going to say that you were going to follow the Emmaus Road, but you weren't. So that's what this becomes, a way to get there. It's like Delta. We get you there, but where?
You're the second.
Well, maybe, but that's. But it's
do you agree? Don't keep talking over it. Do you agree that you're changing matter?
We have already. Y'all didn't, so yes, we do. Now we do.
And that is that is the second coming. That's the altering of matter, the intervention. That
exactly,
the prophecy,
but it's exactly right. That's what Ezekiel said.
So the prophecy said there'd be a change in matter, and so the body is adapting to that, and somehow adapting because the RNA is in the air, the exhalation, and that's changing the big pharma's scientific understanding. They don't understand that they're getting wrong because the body's changing, correct? And the body's changing because it's adapting to the intervention, the second coming of ion and the eye cell.
Yeah.
Anything wrong with that sequence of statements?
It lacks insight.
What's the insight we need?
Oh, an exhalation.
An expiry of something. Nothing to do with the oxygen or, we are talking about the exhalation of the drops and people change their environment. Is you talking about a different exhalation?
Yes.
Okay, well, Carol, have to ask that.
Okay. So the exhalation that we think about is the RNA drops being exhaled. So are you saying that because we're changing matter even more that there's different types of exhalation?
Yes.
And this different type of exhalation, can it be identified, or is it just going to be crazy individual, whatever we're making up inside ourselves?
It'll become a word that you'll judge humans whether they insight or not.
Have insight. He's calling the exhalation an insight, being the process of insight, Carol.
That is what it is.
So it doesn't mean a new idea. It's a term for the new kind of exhalation.
Percussion.
A bump on the head percussion?
No. Percussion. Not percussive. Percussion.
It's a bump on the head, Carol. Percussion is a bump on the head.
No. Look it up.
No, it's a clapping. It's a vibration. It's a type of
Yes. Excellent. That's a percussion.
Oh, you're calling the second coming a percussion then. It's changing in frequency caused by the eye cell.
Just now. We did it just then. Nothing we can do. Just then. Look at that. You did it, Bob. You did it. Once
okay.
Bob,
yeah, I got it. Question. And stop it again. And then we go to okay. This is pretty heavy, Roxy. Is this heavy? I got you on mute, just asking rhetorically. All right, here we go. It's going to get worse. More heavy. Okay.
If you can, it's over. It's over. They ran it. They did it. They ran it any way they wanted to. Now it's time to rise and shine, honey. Time to rise and shine.
What's over? Big Pharma is over, or we're over?
Oh,
what's over?
The world as you know it, Bob.
Babylon has fallen includes the Big Pharma fallen.
Especially.
Oh, okay.
Everything that they say that you have to, well, the same thing President Trump is doing. Every monitor that they hold dear, he's saying, fuck that. We don't need that. Get rid of that shit. You're wasting billions of dollars over nothing. You crazy people. You're just spending money to spend money to spend money. Stop it. There's no reason for us to owe $20 trillion. Just pay this money back to ourselves, get over this whip, and start making some real money. Time to be great again. You crazy,
okay,
ridiculous
are the people for this? Do they like what
They absolutely are. They are thrilled to death.
They're happy that he's telling CNN to go fuck itself.
Thrilled to death. Mediacology is dead. Finally, it is dead. Now they're doing the news. CNN was the news station. Now they get up there, they're like damn Maury Povich trying to figure out who the baby mama is. They don't even know. They talk about, well, President Trump, he had a tweet. I don't know what he felt about the tweet, but he's going to have to talk to us. I don't know who he thinks he is. He said they spent $1 trillion at Christmas. They only spent $697 million. He was wrong again. We're sitting here going, Lord, suffering, can't these people are desperate. It was a tweet. He was on the toilet. Who cares? He don't know how much they spent. How's he going to know? He's sitting in his penthouse taking a shit, sitting there saying, well, it's about $1 trillion that's been spent on Christmas because everybody feels better because they know we're going to win again. So they started spending money. It wasn't $1 trillion. Down.
Yeah, there was a big, I was saying to Bob and whoever else yesterday that there were these 4 people on a panel, reporters, journalists, and they're demanding that Trump have a press conference.
Yeah.
Demanding it.
That's right.
They need to keep their jobs.
He will need us. He's going to have us. He's going, no, I don't. No, I don't.
And Trump is the Fidel Castro. He's all changing the world. Is he doing it to bring back old capitalism? Does he know what Bob's really going to cause?
He knows about the Iron Throne, and he knows winter fell. That's all you need to know, Bob.
That's from the Game of Thrones. Okay, what's next? Oh, here's a little cute one. Okay. Gotta let this run for a few seconds. Okay, here's the next
Just
one.
eating pages, leaves of the Bible. What's wrong with eating the Bible, Bob? There's nothing wrong. You can eat the Bible if you want to. Reverend Stang been trying to eat the subgenius's bum for a long time. It never works out, but they don't.
Is Stang
no problem.
still alive?
Barely.
Is Stang still alive?
Barely.
Well, why is he totally outraged with me and it's affecting his health?
Oh, Bob, you have no idea. It's terrible.
No, you're exaggerating, Ion.
We are not. You're not. We don't swallow either, Bob.
Does he realize I am his prophecy? I acting out to Jeroboam Dobbs, and he's pissed off that I did it?
Yes.
Look, he retired. He retired in 2012.
No, there's different bullshit stories out there. No.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, so I think that maybe that week. This was December 27th. Yes, I think we're going to say that's that. Okay, we'll go on to the next recording. Unmute.
All participants are now unmuted.
Was that heavy, Roxy?
No.
No, it wasn't heavy. Well, the one before about what's happening to the place you die into, that's pretty heavy, right? No more.
Yes. In between place. Wow.
Right. That's going to make people, my theory is it makes people want to stay in the physical. There's no place to go. No better bliss to get to. What do you think of that, Roxy? Is that heavy?
No, I don't think it's heavy, but it must be a very hard situation if the people cannot stand the frequency.
Yeah.
And they cannot escape.
Right.
So, yeah. I'm going to start dropping with more discipline.
You're going to start dropping the drops? Is that what she's saying, Bert?
Yes, sounds like dropping. Yeah. Dropping. Is that what you meant, Roxana?
You're not going to be so casual.
Yes. Like, sometimes I'm running and then, I forgot to take the drop.
You're going to go back.
Hey, Bob.
Oh, shit, I forgot. You'll drive back and get the fucking drops, then go to work.
Yes.
Hey, Bob, that was a funny engagement, a typical classic Bob and Ion engagement when you were asking about the caldera going off. Yeah. And then you saying, and Ion said, well, something else. And Bob said, okay, I won't go into what something else is. I won't ask. That was so funny.
Yeah.
No, but you know what is heavy?
Uh-oh.
You know what?
Lead.
what you told me the other day, that
did I tell you
around?
Did I tell you something?
Around autumn, there won't be any place to go to land a plane, and, because I was planning my holidays, and I was like,
oh yeah. No, that's not what Ian's talking about. That's another thing. That's a minor thing. I'm telling you the truth, that's a minor thing. You don't want to know this thing that's bigger than the caldera.
Enjoy.
You better start gluggling down the drop, the restructure, the rebite will cram it all into you. I like that. Hey, Roxy gets into survival mode. Shit, man, I gotta start eating my fucking breakfast. I gotta start having my noodles. No more candy. That's right.
Well, did Carolyn say anything about that? The fluoroquinolone is an antibacterial treatment.
Supposedly, yeah. What about it?
Yeah. Just that it seems like they use it. It says here they use it. Let's see. They use it for treatment of several bacterial infections, including bacterial bronchitis, pneumonia, sinusitis, urinary tract infections, septicemia, and intra-abdominal infections, joint and bone. They have a whole grocery list here of things they treat with that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if ion means that in particular, or if they just mean it's some sort of vaccination or something like that, antivirus vaccination or flu shot or something.
No,
that was going into another topic, which is Carolyn stuff, which I can't play. So I just stopped it. Don't focus on that. It went over into that word.
Okay.
So do not dwell on that.
Right, that's Carolyn's specialty. I'll leave that to the experts.
Yeah. Right. You don't want to go
taking you completely
over your head. You just keep taking your drops. Okay, here's an interesting part. Ian talks about the Earth's form. So what is changing? What's left? What's happening? Okay, so I got to go to 1307. Okay, I'm going to mute this part.
All participants are now muted.
Okay, yeah, we can play this part. So Ian, what is the Earth that is still here? That's the form. That's the human word power.
The only thing, really, all of it. The only part that's really left now is magnesium. That's all that's left of this Earth. No, really, that's about all that's left. Everything else is about gone.
No, and we don't say magnesium anymore, and we say remag because it's the only one.
No, we know, but the magnesium, right? But it's what? See, it's going to be changed. It's going to be luminescent. That's what it's going to do. But you haven't done it in the oxidation state yet.
Well, I see.
So it's
we haven't done magnesium in the oxidation state.
That's correct, but you will, and it won't be what you take in your meat pack body. Other people will be trying to die for it, but they can. It'll be okay. No worries.
I think I got to stop that part. So the Earth's form is hardly here. This is part of the transition of matter. So let's leave that. Okay, so we got some more stuff here. Okay. If you move forward a few seconds. Just a second. Okay.
Yeah, we don't know. Donald Trump's always been president, Bob, so we don't know.
Donald Trump's always been president.
So with Donald Trump president, when it happened, he's always been president, Bob, so nothing you can do.
Yeah. So
this is not a problem. This is not a problem. Okay, go ahead. This is not a problem, but it did occur.
Okay, 4029. Did the Hebrews find out about the significance of the lamb's blood and the ascension qualities associated with it when they were told to smear it on the door during the first Passover?
They knew before that. They knew it before that.
Okay, I got knocked off, so I'll just start that over again. Can you hear me? Well, are you guys muted? Yeah, I assume you. And
all participants are now unmuted.
Yes, it was quiet before you came on, but we hear you now.
Yeah, I got disconnected, so I stopped the recording. So let's just start that part over again.
All participants are now muted.
Okay, here we go. The Hebrews find out about the significance of the lamb's blood and the ascension qualities associated with it, when they were told to smear it on the door during the first Passover.
They knew before that. They knew before that. They knew it before that. That's the representation. They knew it before that. Yes,
right, and then they knew if they're going to protect themselves, smear the powerful blood around them.
No, that was a sign on your doorpost and on your gates. The mitzvah was a sign because the death angel was going to come and kill the firstborn of every house that didn't contain that blood. And that's what's going to happen again, Bob, when the Passover lamb comes. You're having Hanukkah right now. 8 crazy nights. That flame's going to burn every night. The little candles, war after war after war. The Coathonites are coming back, Bob. The Coathonites are coming back, and they're going to rule, just like we told you they were going to. Then what happens is once that Passover lamb comes again, the firstborn will surely die. And the frogs will take over, and the water will turn to blood. Oh, yeah, F-E. That's Fe is a red color.
This year, Bob, is Saturday, December 24th to Sunday, January 1st.
Right, and so he just said...
Something big could happen even now. No.
People were saying that Ian predicted something would happen on Boxing Day. Did something happen, Ian?
Sure. A lot of them did it, Bob.
Yes.
It's a new spin. There's every time you turn, you think you've heard everything under the sun, like Carolyn, she said, like they're invented original sin or something. No. They're still going to do what they do. We know that. That's not the point. The point is that each level or tier provides a new, interesting vicissitude that they never thought could happen again. Could never be. Oh, that'll never be. Oh, that could never be. Oh, no, that's a ghastly. That's terrible. No, it can't. Well, all those things that can never be are always being now. They be now. Right.
And on the 26th, there was a lot of mob and mauling at the malls. That was...
Yeah, it is, and it's a spirit thing. See, because we also report on the spirit. You think it's just the other side. We also do the spirit side of things too.
So you're saying there are a lot of devils from the release from hell?
Let's don't call them that, because those are just angels. Those are just angels. They're not released from anything. They just do what they do. So we don't want to. We're just saying, don't put that in your recording because it'll just be confusing, and then it's like, oh, the angels, blah, 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 blah. It's nothing like that at all. That's just angels that run around anyway. So, they do what they do. So there's no problem. That part's no problem.
Someone writes a story, why have so many celebrities died in 2016?
Yes, and
they went against Trump. Every single one of them that died went against Trump. Every single one of them. Stand before a sovereign God and rule or die. That's how that goes. Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet. They'll dig up Hollywood. They'll dig up the Hollywood and Vine before it's over with.
That's part of the draining the swamp.
So that's only in Hollywood, California, not in the swamp.
Oh, but the draining of Washington is what people think, but it also involves draining the Android meme and some of the figures in it. So
that's why he's so ballsy. That's why Trump is so ballsy about everything. Oh yeah. You think it's like that? Oh, okay. Oh yeah. I got a little something for you. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's it. That's right. Yeah. Don't worry about that. You got that. Yeah. You got that. But it's not that at all. After a while, you see.
So Boxing Day fights. Violence erupts in over a dozen U.S. malls.
Okay, let's take a little break there. Unmute.
All participants are now unmuted.
Bert.
Ribbit. Viva Trump! Ribbit. Viva Trump!
It's heavy. If you roll up or just try to remember to summarize everything you've presented in this, and including this last clip, it's really heavy. This is going to be an interesting year.
Yeah.
Very interesting year.
Everybody who went against Trump died.
And there are still those who have yet to have an accounting, I guess.
Maybe I have to ask God.
You know, the day I saw Angela Merkel.
No, it was just that the people who have died went against Trump. There's a big difference.
How do you know? We're not taking your opinion.
I'm not paraphrasing. I'm giving you a direct quote of what was said.
Fuck that. You ask Ion if what you said is correct. That's what you do. Next week or tomorrow, you take what you just said and ask Ion if it's correct or not. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, it does seem like there's an implication or inference, or implication rather, that
we ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah.
We ain't seen nothing yet.
And Vine and Hollywood, so Hollywood still has some.
I don't know if I was supposed to play that, but it's an indication.
There's a lot of Hollywood people against
biblical fucking. Listen, it's an indication of the biblical nature of Trump.
Yeah.
Biblical meaning. This is huge. I mean, people are going against him and they're dying, and we ain't seen nothing yet. And this guy's never lost anything.
Yeah. Well, and what was Ion's statement? Stand
back.
There's a statement that Ion made about standing before a ruling God, or
yes.
and
maybe you go back and play that.
Yeah.
So that would be just in the last part. Stand before a living God or something. Let's see.
Right.
Let's go back. But you listen to this, Sarah. Listen to if you get an answer in what they're saying here. Okay, right about there.
No problem.
Someone writes a story. Why have so many celebrities died in 2016?
Yes, and
they went against Trump. Every single one of them that died went against Trump. Every single one of them. Stand before a sovereign God and rule or die. That's how that
and
goes.
Rule
you
or
ain't
die.
Seen nothing yet. They'll dig up Hollywood. They'll dig up the Hollywood and Vine before it's over with.
That's part of the draining the swamp.
So that's only in Hollywood, California, not in the swamp.
Oh, but the draining of Washington is what people think, but it also involves draining the Android meme and some of the figures in it. So
that's why he's so ballsy. That's why Trump is so ballsy about everything. Oh yeah. Do you think it's like that? Oh, okay. Oh yeah. I got a little something for you. Okay. Yeah. That's it. That's right. Yeah. Don't worry about that. You got that. Yeah, you got that. But it's not that at all. After a while, you see.
So Boxing Day fights. Violence erupts in over a dozen U.S. malls.
So, Sarah, I don't think it's over. Oh, yeah, this all happened up to the election or 2 weeks ago. Sounds like it's going to continue. What do you say, Sarah? Better check with Ion.
Yeah, did Ion say stand before a sovereign God and rule or die?
It sounded like drool. I should have asked. Drool or die. What, drool? Yeah, I guess. But I guess it means you stand before a sovereign God and you maintain your sovereign God. You rule
it's like
or die. Yeah,
it's the Gozer thing. Gozer the Gozerian.
Yeah. Are you a God? So you stand before a God and he asks you if you're a God. Trump asks you and you wimp out. Bye. So, Sarah, what do you say to that, Sarah?
All those musicians that don't want to play.
I say it sounds like a death threat unless you throw in the anti-environment of, no, that can't be right.
Second. Okay, what are you saying, Roxy?
Sorry, that all those musicians that denied to play at the inauguration are going to leave.
Yeah, all those musicians that wouldn't play at the inauguration. Yep, they're all vulnerable. Now, if they heard this, I had someone wrote something to someone else and they sent it to me. this is sort of symptomatic of what people are thinking, some people. And let's see, where would that be? Maybe here, click that up. Okay, go up here, just a second. This person says, let's make something perfectly clear. I despise and fear the cunt. And they're talking about Trump. I despise and fear the cunt who's about to become your next president. Consequently, when either of you send me something that speaks positively of the man, I'm going to react in the visceral way I did last night. It was rude, and I apologize for it. But it comes from the gut, and it's like vomiting. I can't keep it in. Yeah, of course, it's going to be a good year for well-off white guys like you two. That's obvious to anyone with a brain. What you don't seem to grasp, or maybe just don't care about, is how much everybody else in the country will suffer under a Trump administration. For the next however many months or years this orange-faced fuck is in charge, I'd appreciate it if you'd stop and reconsider whenever you're tempted to send me something in praise of the creep. If you can't find another topic to email about, just don't email me at all. So this is someone wrote this to a bunch of people. You got a lot of people out there like that. They can't stand Trump, and they think Trump's going to kill them or something. Well, if they hear this, they're going to say, shit, he is going to kill me.
Indeed.
Yeah, so it's just a well-expressed statement of the fear. He says, I despise and fear the cunt. So that's what's coming, and Ian says Trump is minor compared to what's coming. Trump would be
in his effects.
Well,
yeah, I know about
sounds like
minor in its effects.
Sounds like that person already has a magnesium deficiency with that tone.
Right.
Wow.
Okay, so what will we say? Let me go back to what I was playing. So we replayed that. Now we come up to this part. Here's a little section more about Trump. 4709. Right there. Okay. So what was the recent thing Trump did that you really liked? Oh, yeah, he told CNN, I'm not going to be interviewed by you guys. Is he going to keep that up?
Yeah, anymore. Yeah, they're closed. Closed for business. They are now having huge all day long news stories about whether or not they're going to talk about Donald Trump's tweets. And they said, well, you ridiculous little thought, you're going to have to do it. That's the only way you're going to have news. You're not going to have any news otherwise. No, we're not. Yes, we are. They spend all day talking about his tweets. No news. The tweets.
Is the advertising that goes to CNN, is that running away from CNN?
Gone. Newspapers are closing. USA Today will be down to nothing in no time. They specifically went against Donald J. Trump. So their choice.
What about the New York
Times?
Their
story. Oh, they're selling that. That's for sale. Did you want it, Bob? You liked that paper, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
Didn't you like that one? Oh, good for you.
In the Trump era.
The crossword puzzle was always good. Crossword puzzle was good. We'll give them that.
That required thinking. Come on, I'm not original, not creative, and not a thinker. So,
fair enough. At least you're not arguing for your limitations. That's all that matters.
Right. So, if you had the blood in the door, the angel
they pissed off the wrong people. Short version. They pissed off all the wrong people. That's what's happened so far.
The
oligarchs. Say the oligarchs, because you don't know what's media ecological or what's not. You have no way to know the difference.
And you're not talking about the New York Times.
Correct. Specifically, in particular, it fits the mode. It fits the mode as soon and as easy as everything else does, but not necessarily any more than anything else does.
Yeah.
So, good for you. That's very good, Bob. You're getting so much better.
Now, Okay, head stop there. Now we move forward to another interesting part. More on the Coathonites. Here's an aspect of Roxy's research. I think I'll mute you guys, just so there's no news. Mute.
All participants are now muted.
So I'll just rewind that. Roxy asked me to ask this. Okay. Here's an aspect of Roxy's research. There are people who say the Basque language is older than the Sumerian. That's Sumer, S-U-M-E-R. Is that true? The Basque language is older than the Sumerian?
It is. Sumerian, yes, that's correct. Not Sumerian, Sumerian.
Right. Now, why would that area of the world, the Basque, have that kind of priority in culture, that they were an early phenomenon? Were they connected to the Moabites?
They, the Coathanites.
Oh, are the Basque regions where Coathanites lived?
Yeah, they still do.
Aha, so there are a lot of Coathanites in that part of Spain, or a little north of Spain, between Spain and France. And
it's all connected.
Is it a special place?
Yeah.
Good frequency?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, well that's interesting. So yes, the Coathanites... I can continue this. Were the Coathanites the first people to enter the fallen world for all cultures, or did different peoples from other parts of the world, other cultures fall? No, let's say ascended people fell into different parts of the world, creating different cultures. Or was it linear, and the Coathanites were the first, and then everything, the Africans came from the Coathanites, and it unfolded? What do you think, Ian? Did you get a diffusion?
It's unfoldable. It's unfoldable, but it's if you did that in string theory, you'd never connect. But in your world, you can.
It is not true because there was no beginning, so you don't have that linear order.
Right.
Okay. Okay, this is an interesting thing. This is about developing your potential. Take this. Maybe I'll ask you this. What did I learn from the surfing today, Ion?
How to balance. The same thing Carolyn's doing.
I'm learning how to balance, Carolyn. And Carolyn stubbed her toe, and I went into the water. Two ways of approaching it. Okay.
Both sides.
Is there something in the way I'm doing it that you could advise me, some factor I'm not aware of, as I do this surfing, as I keep doing it?
Keep doing it. You're going to get shin splints, but don't worry about that.
What are shin splints, Carol? Yeah, it doesn't mean skin damage. The guy was showing he crashes into the reef a lot, being a teacher, so he skinned off parts of his legs that no skin can grow back. You don't mean that level, Ion?
No, shin splints. It's when the meat on the top, it has to do with the tendon being sore.
So Renew might help with that.
It would, and atomize the magnesium.
Atomize. What's that, Carol? Oh, so you're saying I will, like most jocks, start to have slight injuries or aches and pains.
It's not an injury. It's just this is something you're not stretching. See, because you did all the heel extensions that we told you to, so you got your calf built up, but the front of your leg, you'll use muscles balancing on the surfboard that you weren't used to using, so you're going to get what they call shin splints.
Well,
the same thing happens if you jump on an elliptical and do too much. It's just the bone on the front of your leg is like it's sore. That's all.
Is there some exercise I can do? Prepare for it.
Just stand on your tiptoes, or like going up the steps and extend up and down, like going up and down on your toes, balls of your toes.
That's a good one. So you were telling me to do that, I think, or somebody told me, but let's say it was you at 5
We did.
ago, getting me ready for the surfing. You were getting me ready for the surfing.
Yeah, we want you good at it. If you're going to be a shark's dinner, we want to make you be tasty.
A shark's dinner, did you say?
If we're going to make you be a shark's dinner, we want you to be a tasty dinner.
Right. So how would I get myself to the point of surfing a 40-foot wave? Is that...
You do it right now. You do it right now. Get out there. Fuck, you can't. Try it. That wave will come right over you, and you'll go right through it. It'll be no problem. We didn't say you stand up through it. Yeah, you go through the wave. Yeah, you can go. Just let the wave do you. Don't do the wave. Let the wave do you, Bob. It's media ecology 101.
Right, but I do not, even though I'm working on being ascended, or not working, but being ascended, that would be foolhardy activity to run those things. Would you recommend an effort, or that involves belief that I can't survive underwater and I create all these rules and then therefore live and be subject to them? But if I just imagine myself as porous as the bullet that was shot through me, I'd go right through the wave. What would I do when I rode the wave down under this enlightened state? What would I look like? Something?
Too many words.
Well, it's one thing I'm not going to do. Now, criticize my judgment of myself for thinking I cannot do that. What did he say? He said,
you can do that.
If I understand that I'm not human and not subject to the normal human's reactions to it.
But those aren't predicated on it against anything. So you have nothing to gauge your knowing by. So if you're going to use that as your premise, then you'd have to cut your carotid artery to see if it were the case or not. Well, if you slit your throat, then guess what? You'll be bleeding out, and you won't make it, or you might make it, but it'd be fun to see. But you have to do something like that to know that you know that this thing or string or this theory or this position that you're embracing is going to be embraceable. Okay? And that's a good place to chop it off then. What do you think, Bob?
I think that's nice, but in no way is Carolyn going to let me surf the big wave, right, Carolyn? Right. So I should listen to Carolyn? We always be told to listen to Carolyn.
We would, till better weather.
Right. And
Happy days. Give it a minute. Give it one or two more times, and then you get yourself together, and it'll be fine.
Right.
She was scared of turtles. She was scared of turtles till she wasn't, and then she could swim with them. It's no problem. Remember when you were scared? She was scared of the water.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
So you're saying that prepare to be surprised by my abilities. I'll be excited by my abilities, is what you're saying.
You always impress yourself, Bob. You
I just low standards. I easily impress myself.
That's right.
Hey, look, I'm still breathing. I'm still breathing. Oh, well, let's see what that is. Let me go back a bit.
That's right.
Hey, look, I'm still breathing. I'm still breathing.
Stang is the only one more impressed with your prowess than yourself is, Bob.
Is he actually starting to realize Bob may be something amazing that he never?
It may be a post genius rather than sub genius.
Okay, well that was a great session.
Okay,
thanks a lot.
Happy days. We'll say tomorrow if you like.
All right.
Thank
you very much.
You're welcome always.
Bye. Okay.
All participants are now unmuted.
Is that a little irresponsible to encourage me to surf a 40-foot wave? You realize how big those things are?
You brought it up.
I brought it up.
Express yourself. That's your new slogan.
Yeah, I can impress myself. I was talking when we did this surfing thing, and I was talking to a surfer who taught us. And I said, "What can you surf?" And he said, he had a tree beside us. He said, "I can surf about there." I don't know what it was, like 15 or 20 feet. He said, "But if you go up to the next branch, which like another third or half higher, so I can't do that." He says, "If you want to start surfing those big waves, you have to do it every day. You got to work out. You got to do your breathing exercise. You just have to it's like a job. You work at it all day long, surfing, exercise." Now, I'd never spend time surfing like that, but I was thinking about that. So if you had to do a 40-foot wave, you'd have to be working, doing it full time. So I just like frivolously said, could I do a 40-foot wave? Fucking I said, yeah, Bob. You actually hit it on front, go right through it. You better try to go through head on into a. So I think you would, if you were on a board, you'd go up and hit the top and flip over or fall back down. But can you imagine getting dumped on by thousands of tons of water? That's the most impressive thing I've ever seen, people surviving that. So he's saying, no, Bob, you could do that. He said, do a bit of practice, do a few runs, then give it a go. So, what's going on there?
Do a few runs and give it a go.
Bob.
What?
Classic ion.
It's classic ion. He say, oh, fuck, no problem. It's like, well, you live for eternity, Bob. You get wiped out. So I get wiped out, die, then you come back and do it again, maybe 400 times. And then one day in eternity, you'll do it.
But before that, Bob, it was hilarious. 'Cause before that, he said, well, if you're going to be a shark's dinner, you have to be perfect. Before he even said that.
Yeah.
40-foot wave.
Yeah. Get myself all loved up so the shark would like. And he told me that the sharks don't like me. They wouldn't eat me at this point.
Right.
I bought whatever's in it.
Yeah.
Now he's saying, well, you could. Well, I don't know. What was he saying? I'd perfect myself somehow.
Yeah, to impress yourself.
If you're going to be a shark's dinner, you want to be perfect. Something like that.
That means being able to do a huge wave. That'd be perfect.
Yeah.
If I did that, I'd be perfect. There was this video.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, it might be like when J.W. said that he and his son moved that rock. His son moved that rock. And then they, kind of in hindsight, he's like, I don't know how he did that.
Right. The son said that or J.W. said that?
J.W. did.
Yeah. What was the other thing he said? No, I don't know. Hey, somebody dropped off. Who was that? It was an anonymous. Who are the two anonymouses still here?
Oh, I'm still, I dropped off for a while.
But I was thinking the sharks are very sensitive to frequencies and they can smell blood from very far away. Maybe this type of point. They don't recognize it as blood, maybe.
I met this guy years ago here, and his wife had died. She had gone out swimming at some point, and a shark ate her. And it turned out that she was on her period. So she's out swimming with her period, and the shark smelt the blood and ate it, or bit it. Pretty tragic over that triviality, but yeah, you got to be careful with the blood on you.
Yeah.
They smell a drop of blood from very far away.
Yes, I've heard that.
James and I were watching some surfing boat a year ago or so, and I saw footage. They replayed it. This guy's surfing. I think he's in big waves or something, and so he's waiting for the little motorboat to pick him up. All of a sudden, you see this thing leap out of the ocean, and it was close to shore, it seemed, leaped out of the ocean and just missed the guy. It was a shark. The shark just bounced up out of the sea and took a dive at the guy. And he got into the boat, and then later they were showing the footage, and they were talking to the guy. And the guy just was staring down at the floor like morose, and he wouldn't say much. I think he was contemplating like Roxy, but he just about got killed. You know what I mean? Just missed it. I always remember he wouldn't say much. He just was staring at the floor in shock. I think James
watching the replay.
James. Yeah, I always remembered the way he was looking. Sort of just he was being interviewed on TV, but he wasn't really paying attention. So, TV X-rays people, it shows their innards. So you saw this innard guy just trying to get rid of the image of the shark almost getting him. It took a real leap at him. It's right there on the camera.
Wow.
Big shark.
Yeah, did James post the video on the chat board?
And now you're talking about?
Yeah, he did post he posted a surfing video.
Yeah. A year ago.
But it looks like, what's that?
This is a year ago. There was some competition he got me to channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, not now. Okay, so what's the next part?
I wanted to ask you, what does that mean that the Quatanites are coming back?
I don't know. They're coming back, Bob, and they're going to rule. Now, I'm a Coathanite, so I guess I'm leading the charge. All my buddies are coming back. Take over. Line up. We'll see if you're a Coathanite and join the army. Bob's army. Lock down Bob Rule. And it's funny about Stang. Is he getting even more impressed with me? Yeah, Bob, he's pretty depressed, and you're now no longer sub-genius. You're a post-genius, which is pretty interesting. That's ionic, being a post-genius. Can't use the old knowledge that you could become a genius in, doesn't apply anymore. Our civilization is forging a new kind of knowledge that you don't know what a genius would be in it. You get that? Very profound.
Yeah, there's nothing to...
You're a paragenius.
Nothing to be a genius with... Yeah.
Look at Phil. The little human. Phil's going, save Reverend Stang, Bob.
Stang has to save himself.
Look at this. Phil saying, I can picture, this flips about, I can picture him now surfing a 40-foot wave with, where is that? Just a second. Phil says, where is it?
I can read it, Bob, if you want. I have it.
No, I want to look at it. I didn't read it yet. I want to look at it. Just get it. Oh, yeah. I can picture Bob now surfing 40-foot waves with a large ice cream cone in one hand. I can't picture that.
And I would add, like, with a shark under each foot, like Poseidon or something.
Yeah, I also have the fucking sharks standing on the board with me with their fins around me. I'm buddies with the two sharks.
Like Spuds McKenzie, the dog or something, the shark equivalent.
Yeah, here's this Roy guy is interesting. I don't know who Roy is, but he says, Google has nothing other than ion on the Classonites. Yeah, Google, you look up the Coathanites, you just get ion talking about it or something quoting ion. They have Coathites.
Your payday notes, Bob. It's your payday notes. Only your payday notes show up in Google.
Right. It's Coathites. Do Koathites. Coathites, not Coathanites. I think Coathites might come up. That's actually the term.
Yes.
Term.
Yes.
Coathites. Yeah.
No, it's Koha, Koha, Thites.
That's Kohathites or something?
Actually, that's they're saying Kohathites, Kohathites. Kohathites is how it sort of looks pronounced. Were one of three main divisions among the Levites in biblical times. The other two being the Gershonites and the Merarites.
Yeah, and Ein said those two were tragic. He wouldn't even talk about them. They're subdivisions of the Levite priests. But the Coathanites are a people. And they hang out there. They made a big location in Basque. What do you think of that stuff you heard, Roxy? Still there.
I find it very, very interesting because, like the son of Tatiana Romanov, and the king of Iraq, he had to be in hiding because this type of knowing is like secret. There are many things that the elites don't share. But the king of France was king of France and Navarra, that's the Basque land. And then the Spanish took over, and it became a kingdom in Spain. But for a long time, it was actually French.
Okay.
Roxy, what did you think that the Basque language being older than the Sumerian language?
It's very interesting because for a long time, many people said it's not related to any language. But then different people start studying ancient languages, and they saw it's on the contrary related to many ancient languages. Like the meaning of the word ancient, very old.
Oh, ancient, okay.
So different people came to this conclusion that is the oldest language, and this Alexander Eleazar, the son of Tatiana Romanov, he was able to read all scriptures in, I think he translated like 1,000 texts, different, like in pottery, in walls, in manuscripts, and
it says that it's a geographic.
No, the information he found out, it's similar to many stories in the Bible, but they are talking about this type of things, like the white rays came from heaven, and also the yellow rays, and things like that. They're in this ancient text, but they're not known by most people. And most historians never got interested in what this guy was saying, but he wrote different books, and he has each character and what each character means, and like thousands of texts. So
what's the guy's name?
Alexandra Eleazar.
Alexander Eleazar?
Yeah.
Okay. Or is it E-L-I-A-S? No.
Like L-E-L-E-A-Z-A-R.
There's.
But he had contact with Churchill, with Hitler, with a lot of aristocrats. So many people say he's not like a fraud. He really knew what he was talking about.
So this is the guy that was born in Damascus in 1920.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's related to the Tsar of Russia and also to the kings of Medina and all this. So he had both the Muslim royal blood and the Orthodox or Byzantine blood. And he also wrote a book called Operation Alice. And in that book, he relates how the mother was retrieving money and objects that belonged to the Tsar of Russia, and she was taking them to America. And it's not like fiction. It's really all very well documented. So I believe he's saying the truth, but I want to ask Ion about that.
Yeah, it says he said about discovering the secret of ancient writings that are reputed to be indecipherable. So he deciphered these ancient texts.
Yes.
Okay, I want to play some more stuff.
Okay.
I'll put the mute on.
All participants are now
Something
muted.
about the coathanites. So this came up. There are when we say Kohathanites, Nites, but you look up in encyclopedia, it's Kohathites. No THAN. It's just K.
Oh no, those are different. Those are the rabbis, the priests. The
so the Kohathanites are something different.
Yes, the Kohanim is the priest.
And they call it Kohathites. That is not the Kohathanites, who are a people, not a priest. Correct?
That's correct. That is correct.
What are the Gershonites and the Merarites?
Very sad. Maronites, they're sad.
Yeah, there were 3 Levites. The dictionary says Kohathites, Gershonites, and Merarites. The Kohathites were not connected to the Kohathanites.
That's right. They were actually Moabites. They were Moabites.
Okay, that's important. So the Kohathanites, the ones who were pretty ascended, no one knows about them. They're not talked in the literature.
They will be. They had to be away because that's pre-Garden of Eden. So excellent. Okay, we love you, miss you, need you, see you, and talk.
All participants are now unmuted.
So pre-Garden of Eden. Kohathanites, pre-Garden of Eden.
The people who are not.
No, I don't know if the Kohathanites, they might be that. He used to say the Israelites or the Ionats or the people who imbibed the Icel were the people who were not. I don't, you know, maybe you have an example. They say the Kohathanites are what you said. What did you just say?
The people who are not.
Oh, yeah, that may be. You think they might have said that about the Kohathanites?
No, I'm just making that connection,
right?
Because that come up recently too.
Right. So the pre-Garden of Eden, that brings in this issue: are there 2 Adams or 3 Adams? You know, what was Adam doing pre-Garden of Eden? Okay. Guess that's all we get out of that one. We're going to have to ask some more questions.
I posted it, but just to say that
I'm looking at the ceiling. I'm thinking, wow. Reality really is the most amazing story. It goes beyond anything.
The Kohathites, one of the 3 divisions known among the Levites, are not the Kohathanites that Ion's speaking of.
Yeah, the Kohathites are not the Kohathanites.
Right. Okay. Just making that distinction.
I don't think the Kohathanites have anything to do with the Hebrews.
Okay. Yep. It's totally new.
Right. They're pre-Garden of Eden.
Yeah.
And I'm one of them. You're talking to one.
Looking forward to the garden.
Yeah,
or looking backward.
Before the garden.
Or sideways.
Looking forward to before the garden. Well, not the garden. We're looking forward to before the garden.
Before.
Yeah, that'd be before there was fallen man.
Right. So before
the Garden of Eden isn't. Yeah, the Garden of Eden is for the whole Bible is about the problem of fallen man. So man has fallen.
So it's the condition. Yeah, the condition before. Thanks for clarifying that.
That's eternity. That's what I was trying to get at earlier. That our making of the drops with the eye block is the moment of eternity and pre-Garden of Eden. We make it, that moment is always there, and it becomes already happened. And all other cultures are stuck in space and time trying to get to that point. We just sit there radiating.
Because it's already happened.
In the bubble.
Radiating in the pre-garden bubble?
Yeah. Just a second. I gotta switch this. Yeah, radiating pre-garden bubble. That's where I am right now. I'm in the pre-Garden of Eden bubble.
The boy in the bubble.
Yeah. Bullets go right through me.
Waves go right, or you go through waves.
Yeah, I go right through waves.
The waves do the bob.
Yeah. Okay, so now we go to today's session. I got some good stuff today. Let's see what that's going to bring us. So, you like what I played you? Worth your time?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm staring at the ceiling.
And visualizing Bob, the Quaternight.
Yes, when I get interviewed, Charlie Rose is going to say, well, Bob agreed to enter into space and time. He dropped out of his normal habitat, pre-Garden of Eden, and dropped into our studio. Now, this thing we're going to talk to ain't really here. He just hangs around for his friends or occasional interviews.
It's the four letters, like YW, Yahweh is the four letters, YW,
yeah.
YH, the CKLN is like the four letters for coathanite.
Right, well, they would show Charlie, and then they'd go to my chair, and you'd just get this shimmering light. It'd just be a little shimmering light that would talk.
The voice of many waters, just speaking from the chair.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Where is my instructions for this recording? What could I do? What could it be?
What are you allowed to?
As I says, did I email myself something?
It's in your inbox.
Yeah. Let's see.
Bob's holy inbox.
Right, I have found it. This is going to be a good chunk of stuff. And it relates to a lot of things we talked about today throughout the many hours. You'll see there are, I think, aspects in this that we talked about this morning. So this is a session December 31st. And we go to 2948. Right there.
Anniversary of the transition of Marshall McLuhan.
No, what? I missed the first words.
Yeah, Herbert transitioned on the 33rd of December.
Oh, did you hear that? Marshall McLuhan focused too much on the mass. Forgot about studying deity.
Right. Yes.
I'd like to play that for the McLuhan Forum. They wouldn't make that. Here's where Marshall fucked up. But I didn't get what you were saying, Roxy. In the first words. What did you say?
Yes, your session took place on the anniversary of the transition of our prophet, Herbert.
Armstrong?
Herbert.
Or Herbert
McLuhan?
December 31?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, he died. That's the day he died.
Yes. Yes.
Holy shit. We're celebrating. Marshall died in 1980. What is that, 36 years? Yeah, 36 years. Is that what you're saying, Roxy? Bob ascended on... okay.
No.
You already knew.
Herbert.
Did anybody call him Herbert?
No, that name, I never heard anybody say that to him.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm muting you guys. Mackie Mac?
Yeah.
What?
Remac fluid.
Remac?
Yeah.
Remac
fluid.
Remac.
Okay, I'm muting such nonsense. Now let's get serious. We're back in class. Yes, we're back in class, Roxy. No more jokes from you. You go play hooky, Roxy. Go to that.
I'm speaking in what's your name?
Yeah, go up and hang out with the Krathenites at the Frida Kahlo's backyard. Maybe take a few of your fellow students too with you. This class is for those who are paying attention. So, pay attention. You can stay. What? Gecko?
It's carricasco. That means thank you.
It's going to be... Oh, okay. Thank you. All right. Mute.
All participants are now muted.
Listen to this. I don't even know what it's going to be, but I bet you it's good. Here we go.
Oh, look now, isn't that so sexy?
Yeah.
Look, he's trying to be a part of the family, Carolyn. Get out of town. Isn't that wonderful? We got the nice, sweet nurturing. We got a nurturing. We got a nurture. It's the nurturing Bob. Which Bob is it? Which Bob is it?
Yeah, which one is it?
The transitory Bob.
Which Bob is this?
Transitory Bob.
We talked about 12 JWs. How many are there on that level? Our Bobs are there? 7?
Almost a half. Almost a half of one.
Jeez. Oh, yeah, we did go through 12 Bobs or 9 Bobs. We did do that.
Yeah, you keep getting rid of them. We get them set up, and you blow them up, and then you blow them out, and you mess them up, and then you fix them up, and then you go on again. It's, well, we can't keep track of it. Then there's none left, and we have to go get open to get some more, and then it's just terrible.
Terrible.
Okay, what's the movie I'm watching? TV show. I'm watching Project. There's a TV show about Project Paperclip, Close to the Enemy. It's happening. It's Britain at the end of the war, and the bringing over of the Nazi scientists and different factions of British intelligence arguing over it or wondering how far it is. So that would be relatively accurate portrayal in this TV series, Close to the Enemy.
Very close. Very close. Yeah. They don't get the details right. But the track run is good. But some of the stuff like where they set up the actual schedule of how it's supposed to flow, it's not exactly correct, you see.
Right. They put in human drama.
Well, they have to. It's like the observers. They had to put something in to make it interesting, Otherwise, nobody would care.
Trump could be, I said, president as long as he wants to. Is that because there's going to be so much turbulence and geophysical disruptions and plagues and things that no one would find it attractive? The responsibilities that are implied have to be done by the president during all this outer world tragedy. Is that part of the reason why people will not be attracted to the White House?
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Will Trump revel in it himself, personality-wise?
Hell yeah, of course he's going to sing it. He's going to tear it up, fix it up, and he's going to blow it back up again. Yeah, he'll have great fun with it. Then he'll say, well, that didn't go really well. Well, that was an interesting day, and, lather interest me.
Will he shock his aggressiveness on the war front with Putin and this and that? Will shock people?
It's going to be different. It's going to be different. He's not that way. He's not going to be like, I'm going to blow you up. It's going to be Bob Barker, and let's make a deal. It's going to be let's make a deal. It's not going to be I hate you. It's like, come on, I love you. Let me get you that bed. I'm going to nail you. I'm going to nut in your butt, honey. Come on. I'm going to get it. And then he gets in there and he goes, okay, it was good for me. Goodbye. Then he moves on because he got the deal. Like that.
Right. Could we play what we just said? Is that confidential?
Sure, might as well.
We can play it. So what is it that Hillary, how come she couldn't have done that? Is it because she never was in business, doesn't understand making deals? Or was she purposely holding things back?
She owed too much. She owes too much. Off to work she goes. Everything she did, she owed. Everything she did because she owed.
Who prompted her to get in debt when she became a senator? Who got her going in 2000?
She was poor.
Right, she was poor. And was there any particular group that she that owned her?
Mostly Turks and Caicos.
Residents or the government of Turks and Caicos?
No difference.
Okay. That's interesting. This is an example of the new offshore enclaves that people with the means could create. Like, it's a James Bond scenario. You have some guy with a lot of money, Dr. No, that can go to some island and run it and have slaves and create a new technology or a new weapon politically.
Yeah.
This has been this. What?
Done. Yes. Yes.
Done?
Yeah.
Well, this would be. This is the decentralization of power that McLuhan predicted. Electric environment allowed people to go offshore, do